March 25th, 2023, near Boa Vista, Brazil. A Piper Seneca II developed engine trouble shortly after takeoff and could not continue the flight. With little altitude available, the pilot brought the airplane down on the Paraná River. The aircraft was substantially damaged, but all 5 people on board escaped without injury. The exact cause of the engine problem has not been confirmed in a published final report. The key takeaway is this. After a power loss at low altitude, controlling the aircraft and choosing a reachable landing area can make the difference. March 25th, 2023, near Boa Vista, Brazil. A Piper Seneca II developed engine trouble shortly after takeoff and could not continue the flight. With little altitude available, the pilot brought the airplane down on the Paraná River. The aircraft was substantially damaged, but all 5 people on board escaped without injury. The exact cause of the engine problem has not been confirmed in a published final report. The key takeaway is this. After a power loss at low altitude, controlling the aircraft and choosing a reachable landing area can make the difference. May 1st, 2023, in Panama City, Panama. During a go-around at Marcos A. Gelabert Airport, a Cessna 172 repeatedly lost engine power, and smoke began filling the cabin. The pilot declared Mayday and aimed for a road with little traffic. During the forced landing, the left wing struck a utility pole, and the aircraft hit the ground. All 4 people on board survived without serious injury. Investigators found that a threaded plug had come out of the propeller governor cover. Engine oil escaped, and the engine seized from a loss of lubrication. Possible errors during recent maintenance contributed. June 19th, 2023, in El Baqa, near Amman, Jordan. A Royal Jordanian Air Force Cobra was on a training flight when an in-flight problem forced the crew to attempt an emergency landing. The helicopter crashed during the landing and was destroyed. Both pilots were taken to hospital with injuries, while no civilians on the ground were hurt. One of the pilots later died from his injuries. The Jordanian Armed Forces did not release the exact cause of the accident, so reports of a specific mechanical failure remain unconfirmed. June 26, 2023, near Mount Kazbek, Georgia. A Georgian Border Police Mi-8 was approaching a high-altitude weather station while supporting Polish rescuers. During the landing, the helicopter was suddenly pushed downward. Its nose landing gear struck the ground. June 27th, 2023, near Mexico City, Mexico. A Gulfstream II, operated by Mexico's Attorney General, was approaching Mexico City International Airport when its nose landing gear failed to extend. The crew diverted to Felipe Angeles International Airport, where a longer runway and emergency services were available. The aircraft touched down on its main landing gear, then slowly lowered its nose onto the runway. All 6 people on board escaped without injury. Authorities confirmed that the nose landing gear failed to deploy, but no public final report has identified the exact component or technical problem that caused the failure.
Pues haya que corte motores, ¿no? ¿O qué?
No se incendió.
July 11th, 2023. At Hindustan Aeronautics Limited Airport in Bengaluru, India. A Beechcraft Premier 1A developed a problem with its nose landing gear shortly after departure, and the crew turned back. Checks showed that the nose wheel was not fully down. With emergency crew standing by, the jet touched down on its main landing gear, then lowered its nose and slid to a stop. Both pilots were uninjured, and no passengers were on board. Indian authorities confirmed the nose landing gear malfunction, but the exact mechanical cause has not been released in a public final report. July 12th, 2023. At Florianopolis Airport in Brazil. A LATAM Airbus A321 arriving from Sao Paulo landed on runway 32 during heavy rain and thunderstorms. During the rollout, the aircraft veered off the left side of the runway and stopped about 5 meters beyond the pavement. Its landing gear sank into the soft ground. All 179 people on board left the aircraft safely, and no one was injured. CE ENIPA classified this as a serious incident. The bad weather is confirmed, but no published final report has established exactly why the aircraft left the runway.
Olha o pneu do avião. O que aconteceu?
July 17th, 2023, in the Ajam area near Dishmuk, Iran. An Alouette 3 medical helicopter was approaching a remote village to collect a sick child. During the descent, the crew saw 3 low electrical cables ahead. The pilot added power and climbed over them, but the helicopter then began losing height. As the crew tried to go around, flames were seen coming from the engine exhaust. The helicopter struck the ground about 120 meters beyond the cables and was damaged beyond repair. Everyone escaped without serious injury. The exact technical cause of the engine problem was not published. August 1st, 2023, at Charleston International Airport in South Carolina. A Bell 407 was returning from maintenance when it began yawing to the right. The pedals had no effect, so the pilot declared an emergency. On final approach, the helicopter started turning right again. The pilot lowered the collective and reduced the throttle, but it descended rapidly and struck the grass beside the runway. He was the only person on board and survived with minor injuries. The NTSB found 1 bolt missing from the tail rotor control linkage, while another bolt was loose and had no cotter pin. The linkage disconnected, causing the loss of tail rotor control. Investigators blamed incorrectly installed bolts and an inadequate maintenance inspection. August 13th, 2023, near Willow Run Airport in Michigan. A MiG-23 was making a low-level pass at the Thunder over Michigan airshow when the engine failed to respond as the pilot selected the afterburner. The engine was still running, but it could no longer provide enough power to hold speed and altitude. As the jet turned back toward the airport, the rear seat observer activated the ejection system. Both men landed in a lake and suffered serious injuries. The unmanned jet continued descending and crashed beside an apartment building. No one on the ground was hurt. The NTSB concluded that the accident followed a partial loss of engine power, but the exact reason for that power loss could not be determined. August 24th, 2023, at St. Bartholomew Airport in the Caribbean. An Air Antilles twin Otter landed on runway 28 with 2 crew members and 6 passengers on board. When the nose wheel touched down, the aircraft turned sharply to the left. The crew used the rudder, ailerons, and reverse thrust, but could not correct it. The Twin Otter left the runway and struck an empty helicopter parked nearby. 2 people suffered minor injuries. The BEA found that the nose wheel was turned left instead of being locked in the center. The steering cable had too little tension, and the operator's procedures did not include an updated manual check introduced by the manufacturer. The exact reason for the low cable tension could not be determined. September 7th, 2023, off Belle Isle in western France. A Dalek Fascination Ultralite suffered an engine failure while flying about 5 kilometers from the island. The pilot sent a mayday call and brought the aircraft down on the sea. He was the only person on board and escaped without injury. Rescue crews recovered the pilot and later towed the ultralight back to port. The emergency was caused by the reported engine failure, but no published investigation has established why the engine stopped. September 10th, 2023, at Borgond Airport in Hungary. A North American T-28 Trojan made a low pass during an airshow, then entered a low-level roll. The aircraft lost height and struck the ground near a parking area, bursting into flames. Both pilots were killed. On the ground, 3 people suffered serious burns, and a young boy received minor injuries. Hungarian investigators confirmed that the pilot lost control during an aerobatic maneuver that was not included in the approved display. However, the exact reason the aircraft became uncontrollable has not been made public. September 23rd, 2023, at Gao International Airport in Mali. A Malian Air Force Ilyushin 1L76 landed far beyond the normal touchdown area on runway 06 left. With too little runway remaining, the heavy transport could not stop. It traveled about 380 meters beyond the runway, crossed a road, and went down an embankment. The aircraft broke apart and was largely destroyed by fire. No official investigation report has been published. The late touchdown directly caused the overrun, but why the crew continued the landing remains unknown. Malian authorities also never released a confirmed number of people on board or a final casualty count. September 28th, 2023, at Burney Stage Airfield in Texas. A Luscombe 8A had just landed when the pilot said his feet became tangled around the rudder pedals. He accidentally applied a brake, and the aircraft swung to the left. Opposite rudder and additional engine power could not bring it back. The Luscombe left the runway, bounced, and struck a hangar. The pilot suffered a minor injury. Both wings and the fuselage were substantially damaged. The NTSB determined that the cause was the pilot's failure to maintain directional control during the landing roll. August 2nd, 2026, near Psata, about 65 kilometers west of Athens, Greece. 2 Bell 214 ST firefighting helicopters were operating over a large wildfire. The helicopters approached the same area at low altitude and collided in midair. One crashed in flames, killing its Danish pilot and Greek flight coordinator. The damaged second helicopter made an emergency landing. Its British pilot and Greek coordinator survived and were taken to hospital. The cause has not yet been established. Greek investigators are examining the flight paths, radio communications, and instructions given to both crews, including whether one helicopter was hidden in the other pilot's blind spot. November 10th, 2023. At an unidentified dirt airstrip in Brazil, a Cessna 182 was accelerating for takeoff when a dog suddenly ran onto the runway. The aircraft struck the animal near the left main landing gear, just as it was beginning to lift off. The gear collapsed, the Cessna dropped back onto the ground, and veered into vegetation beside the strip. The pilot was reported to have survived. The dog entering the runway and the impact with the landing gear directly triggered the accident. No official investigation report has been published, and the exact location has never been confirmed. November 12th, 2023. At the Via Cañas Aero Club in Santa Fe, Argentina. An L-29 Delphin jet made a low pass during an air show, then climbed into an aerobatic maneuver. During the turn, the jet lost control and entered a steep descent. It struck an open field and was destroyed by the impact and fire. Neither person on board survived. Investigators opened an official inquiry, but no confirmed cause has been publicly released. The exact reason the pilot lost control remains unknown.
No, no te puedo creer, boludo, no te puedo creer esto. Acaba de estrellarse un avión, no te puedo creer. Mirá lo que es eso, por favor.
November 26th, 2023, on the Paraná River near Ramallo, Argentina. A Robinson R66 was making a recreational flight very low over the water. The helicopter hit the river and rolled upside down. The pilot was killed, while 4 passengers escaped from the aircraft with minor injuries. Investigators classified this as a low-altitude operation accident. The latest official report is still provisional and does not establish the exact cause of the crash.